Water Day, and earlier on this year, President Cyril Ramaphosa, of course, had spoken about resurrecting the government's blue drop and green drop certification program. It aims to help the improvement of the enforcement of water standards at the municipal level. But to speak more on this, I'm now joined by Benoit Le Roy, CEO at the South African Water Chamber. Mr. Le Roy, thank you so much for your time and good morning to you. Let's talk about, firstly, the challenges, the water-related challenges that the country has seen, at least at municipal level. What do they look like?
It's generally speaking, the feeling is that it's not as bad as what it may come across, but what we need is the blue drop report to be published. The only issue with these blue and green drops, the green drops is the quality of sewage discharge into our water resources, and blue is the potable water supplied by the municipalities to us. It would be nice, like you had the indicators early on with gold and the dollar and the stock exchanges, is to have a water index, a blue water and a green water index daily. And I think this is something we can work towards because what I've seen from the Water Summit is that the Department of Water Sanitation is working hard on getting these, let's say, health barometers more transparent, but we need to get them live to get really more confidence. I'm very confident in the metros and let's say in a lot of the larger municipalities. I think the smaller municipalities and the rural municipalities are the ones who really face a torrid time from a potable water volumetric and quantitative perspective.
In your perspective, there, do you think that the blue and green drop certification program actually is will show that improvement that we need in the enforcement of water standards at municipal level?
It will. It's been a slow onset disaster, and it will be slow to rectify it. But the harder we push, I think the quicker it will be rectified. And, government's aim is to reduce the pollution by 60% in our water resources over 36 months. 36 months is quite a difficult target to meet, but it has to be met and see if we can improve on it. But these things, unfortunately, take a while to resolve. But I think on the blue drop side, that can be done a lot quicker. The only thing is the pollution in our resources means that the cost of production for potable water for the municipalities increases because there's more pollutants we have to remove. So we can remove them and we do remove them, but it costs more money and the user has to pay because, there's no money flying around outside of that.
Yeah. Is that why it takes a while to see, that improvement, the cost that's related to it, as you've just mentioned?
I think it's more to do with sorting out supply chains. Plants have to be modified, upgraded. We know they're not in the best of condition, so our infrastructure has to be improved. And these, generally speaking, take a year or two to plan and permit, and then to implement another year or two. So we're very quickly into half a decade. But there's a lot of quick fixes that can be done to ensure that we do not provide water that is not within the potable, so the SANS 241 specifications. And our water, generally speaking, can be of a very good and has been of a good quality, but we find that the bubble is starting to burst and we're reacting a bit slowly. There's no excuse for that. So I think it's new infrastructure that takes more time. The existing infrastructure should be able to meet our needs and demands. And in the big cities, we do, generally speaking, yes, we do get some interruptions and the likes because infrastructure is bursting and it hasn't been maintained. Right. But generally speaking, the quality is not too bad. It meets the legal requirements, and I think government officials need to be held accountable to show that they are meeting. And we mustn't hide behind poppy. We must really say that the information is available and the water does comply. So we need to drive to be overtly transparent. And I think that will get a lot more, let's say, faith in the system.
Yeah. And with that being said, when it comes to water pollution, what is the biggest polluter of water?
Over 4 billion litres of the 5 billion litres of daily pollution in round number of daily wastewater, most of which is 90-odd%, 95% is sewage. So government is the biggest culprit. The government knows that. It's a matter of how do we fix it. And that's where the private sector comes in and the water chamber comes in, and that together we are busy working on fixing it. And the first thing is to acknowledge we have a problem. So that has been acknowledged publicly. Now it's a matter of in actual fact, finding ways of, at local government level, sorting out the infrastructure that is really decades outside of its operating envelope.
Yeah, I suppose we'll be tracking those timelines because people do need clean water, and
Yes.
of course the municipality has to provide that clean water. But thank you for speaking to us, Mr. Benoit Le Roy, South African Water Chamber CEO, for speaking to us this morning.